In today's All-Ev, we talk about what happened to the bus project, what happened to me, the car I didn't buy, and nothing else at all. Stay tuned. Let's start off with the car I didn't buy. A fan on Instagram sent me a link for a Copart listing for a 2008 Smart 4 II. What's interesting about this Copart listing and what this fan knew is that it wasn't a 2008 Smart 4 II, it was a 2008 Shuanghua Noble that had showed up in a Copart listing in Utah with a clean title and only 1,200 miles. Now the damage was listed as mechanical, so likely the engine didn't work, and it's probably in the United States illegally, but none of that mattered to me because it was a Shuanghua Noble in the United States. If you don't know what a Shuanghua Noble is, it's the Chinese clone of the first generation Smart 4 II. I also have a Wigo, which is based off the body of a Shuanghua Noble. So naturally, I had to have this Shuanghua Noble. So I got set up on Copart, I got ready to do the bidding, and then when the live auction came up, the countdown timer was ticking down. I hit the bid button to outbid the highest bidder, and nothing happened. I freaked out because the countdown timer only lasts like 3 seconds. I hit bid again. Nothing happened. So I typed in an amount, and I hit monster bid, and nothing happened, and I lost the auction to a guy in Colorado for $675 because the bid button didn't work. So thanks, Copart. That made me very, very angry. I lost this auction for what is likely the only Shuanghua Noble in the entirety of the United States, and this opportunity will not come up again because they're illegal to import. I don't even know how this one was in the country. But anyway, that's the car I didn't buy, and if you happen to know who bought this Shuanghua Noble in Colorado, I think it was Colorado, please let them know that I'm interested in buying it, because I have to complete my garbage first-generation smart car box set. I need a smart car, a Wigo, and a Shuanghua Noble. I need all three before I can collect the prize. I don't know. So anyway, that's what happened. Let them know that I'm looking for this car. I guess. I make it sound like a manhunt. Anyway, onto the bus. I haven't touched this bus at all since the last video, and there's two reasons for that. But first and foremost, it's because it's just too stinking hot in this building. I don't have a thermometer on me, Wasp. But I would describe the temperature in here as somewhere between crock pot and toaster oven, with a little bit of vegetable steamer mixed in. If you remember from a video I made last year, I spent a great amount of money in this shop putting a reflective rubber coating on the roof to reflect the sun's rays, insulating the entire building and adding mini splits for heating and air conditioning. However, in this building I have done none of that, so it's very hot in here because the roof panels are absorbing heat and convecting it down onto me, and the insulation is very poor, so in the winter it gets very cold, in the summer it gets very hot. And there's no air conditioning or heating system whatsoever. Not that it matters, because it would take a very large air conditioner and or heater to condition a non-insulated space of this size. Well, it's a little bit insulated, but not really. So why don't I park the bus in the nice air-conditioned building to work on it? After all, this building is long enough. Too bad there's a massive pit in the floor, so the bus won't fit in here, unless I fill in this pit. And then it would probably just barely fit, but I think it would fit if the pit was filled in, which it is not. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. Why don't you just point a fan at you to cool you off while you work in the heat? Or why don't you just stop being a massive wimp about it and work in the heat anyway? Well, I'm a massive wimp and I don't want to work in the heat and I don't like sweating. But also it's a matter of principle. I didn't spend close to 10 grand making my other shop a nice, comfortable living space with air conditioning and heating only to use the building next door to it. The way I see it, I really just have two options for dealing with this problem. Option one is just waiting until the fall or early winter months when it becomes a tolerable temperature in this building to work on the outside of the bus. Then I can get the cabin enclosed and put a space heater in there and work on the inside. Or option two, and this is kind of preferable but vastly more expensive, is fill in the pit and concrete over the top of it, like I've been wanting to do forever, so that I can pull this bus into the better shop building with heating and air conditioning and also closer proximity to my tools. I mean, right now my tools are just literally through that door, but it would be nicer to have them in the good building. So those are my options. Reason number two I haven't worked on the bus is my living situation has changed. I now have what some people refer to as a family, which means the 10 feet of living quarters I originally planned for the bus is not big enough anymore. So in my crudely drawn out plans, I've added 5 extra feet to the living quarters, which is actually a substantial amount more room. It's a 50% improvement. I can add a queen-size bed in the back that doesn't have to be folded up ever, and I can add another queen-size bed on top of that in a bunking sort of arrangement. And the upper one, I can have it retractable to go away if I don't need it. And in general, it would just be a lot more space in the living quarters section because family, other people besides me. Now this does mean the load bay has to shrink from 25 feet to 20 feet, which means that I probably realistically won't be able to haul 2 cars anymore, but this also opens up a new avenue because I was wondering what I was going to use for the load bay floor previous to this. I would have to fabricate something myself, but now, since the load bay will be 20 feet long, that's about the length of your average rollback deck on a tow truck. So I can get a used tow truck or a used tow truck bed and just put it on the bus instead of fabricating my own thing, because they're usually in the range of 21 to 22 feet. I can just put it on the frame and have a ready-to-go bed without having to fabricate anything, and more than likely it would be made of aluminum, so it'd be lighter than anything I'd make anyway. So that's a new avenue that has opened up because I shrunk the load bay. No, I won't be able to haul 2 cars anymore, but I'll have a better load bay for hauling 1. So that's why the bus project is almost completely stalled, because it's too hot in here, a fan won't cut it, and I'm a massive wimp. Also, I need to make sure any design decisions I stick with, I'm willing to stick with permanently, because I risk going beyond the point of no return. I would really like to keep working on this bus project because it still excites me, and I'd like it to not exist only theoretically, but things are things. You may have noticed I recently took a 2-month break from YouTube. I mentioned in a YouTube post that I was going to take a mental health vacation until I was good and ready to come back, and that's exactly what happened. I was struggling with some serious anxiety that seemed to be caused by absolutely nothing, and that led to some serious feelings of hopelessness as well, just piled on top of that. But thanks to the support of friends and family, I got on some medication, and now I'm right as rain, which is great. The chemical imbalance in my head has been fixed, and now I'm back to normal. Well, I say back to normal, but I don't ever remember being this consistently happy in my life before. Modern medicine really is an amazing thing. So why am I telling you this fairly personal information? Well, a lot of you have been asking if I'm okay, and I am. Also, there are most likely a lot of you out there that are silently struggling with mental health issues of your own. And maybe, just maybe, seeing someone else out there, like myself, struggling with the same issues will make you feel less alone and more willing to seek help. I didn't even know I needed help until the problems got so bad I couldn't ignore them anymore because I had normalized the problems my entire life. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs medication, far from it. Everyone out there is different and has different needs, but no one should be afraid to seek help even if you feel your problems are insignificant. Your problems are every bit as real as you think they are. Also, for those of you that were wondering, my problems were not caused by YouTube-induced stress. I took a break from YouTube because I wasn't in the right headspace to produce good or really any content at all. Also, in a completely unrelated note, I'm probably going to have to go back to a real job soon because YouTube ain't working out full time. But I'll talk about that more when it actually happens. I'll talk about it more in depth. In short, it was pretty much inevitable. That's all for this Olive. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting me on Patreon, and I'll see you next time.